This was the first video of mine to get a little bit of traction, so y'all know I had to come hard with this one. That and it's Black History Month, so you know I gotta hate on my people. This is me grading Black Stereotypes Part 2, so y'all enjoy. We're gonna start with black people being fatherless. Black people being fatherless isn't something that I can relate to personally, but I'm gonna put it this way to stress how crazy this shit is, because we are already off to a bad start. In a room full of 10 black people in the US, 5 of y'all niggas leaning towards sits have no father involvement in your life. What's worse is that around 65% of us niggas are single parented. I don't know what it is about black people and simply being there for their child, but we apparently suck at it. My young black kings and queens out there, this is your chance to disprove this cycle that we are fatherless. This is also your chance to stop acting like you're fatherless if you aren't, because if you are doing anything to even reflect this off of you, you are a disappointment to your father and are exactly everything wrong with the black community. I'm gonna give this a 7 out of 10 because we got the strong-willed 43% of y'all who remain consistent in your child's life. Shout out to the present black fathers of the world, because y'all did more than just nut and dick. Next, we got the black stereotype of black people not being able to swim. I hate when niggas say this because this was genuinely my first love, my first passion, dead ass, bro. I don't understand how niggas can be at the age of 17 talking about how they can't swim. Like, my nigga, you're telling me through your 17 years of life, you haven't learned once how to do the simple action of swimming? This shit is not hard, my nigga. I learned this shit at the age of 5, bro. Like, dead ass. And I tried to investigate the origins of the stereotype for the sake of the video, and given they are from slavery where niggas was brought on the ships. But that's not really all that important. We're in the moment now, nigga.
I beg your pardon?
Anyway, this shit's gonna get an 8 out of 10 from me because too many niggas be saying they can't. Respectfully, touch some water, because if these niggas can do this, you can too. Moving on, we got the stereotypical black phrases. I decided to combine most of the common stereotypical ones niggas have heard from their parents over the years, so we'll break them down one by one real quick. Starting with, I'm not one of your little friends. First of all, if you heard this, just know you was coming with mad attitude toward your parents, and you better watch your next words carefully because your ass would be ravaged if you jack in the same energy. Safe to say, if you are black, you have definitely heard this at least a couple times. Next on the script is, you better stop crying before I give you something to cry about. If you were a kid that would cry after every sort of thing, you were sure to hear this. Now, me personally, I have never heard this because, not to toot my own horn here, but I was non-problematic as a child. My only problem with this one is the fact that this shit is dumb as fuck, because it's like, did you not just give niggas something to cry about? Moving on to the next phrase, we got, do you got McDonald's money? Honestly, with this phrase, you could just put, do you got blank, and then put money at the end of it, and it'll work out just fine. I think this one's pretty universal if I'm being honest. I actually do plan to say this to my future children down the line, not because I won't be rich and successful, but because I'll be cheap. If we really put it into perspective, McDonald's is probably cheaper than some of the full course meals your mama be cooking at home. Now, given the reason your parents probably be telling you this all the time is because they were tired of you asking all the time, or because there was simply food at home. Speaking of food at home, we have food at home. This is one I'm a little critical of, because if I asked for something or wanted to eat something and my mom said this, no offense to my mother, but your food simply wasn't up to my standards. I take back everything I just said. I realize I'm a broke college student on a dining plan eating the same food here every damn day, so mom, do not quote me on that. Last of the black stereotypical phrases we're gonna go over is, I brought you into this world and I can take you out of it. First of all, that's murder, and the minute this bullshit comes out of your mouth, I have full authority to call the cops and have you arrested under a misdemeanor charge. Deadass, you are talking about killing your seed, and best believe these be the same ones talking about they'd kill for their child. I'm gonna give this stereotype a 9 out of 10 because the last phrase ruined everything above it. Moving on, we got, black people make everything about race. Now, I am absolutely not biased, but this is 100% true. I swear the niggas that do this be so quick to do it too. They get talked to a certain way by a random ass Karen at the mall, racially profiling. They be doing BS like this too, saying that shit. They don't get enough in the Chipotle bowl, it's because they're black, and not because the nigga behind the counter doesn't give you a random number of portions. Mind you, these niggas give you the same spoonful. These niggas can't control what falls out the spoon or how much is in the spoon. I might also add that these niggas did give me food poisoning right after saying this. And it's even worse when the old heads do it, because they go on a whole ass monologue about black history and whatever to show how we've broken down systematic barriers to get to where we are. And don't get me wrong, with how times are now, nigga, I'm aware of how important this is. Let me say that before I get canceled. I don't got no type of traction to be talking about getting canceled. Here's a quick story. I go to what is called a PWI. If you don't know what that is, then you're probably not black. My dad and I were having a conversation about where I wanted to go for college in the car driving back from somewhere. The university where I go to right now, out of the 20 schools I applied to and the 15 I got in, wasn't my first choice by no means. I ain't gonna hold you. But one of the schools, which was my number one, happened to be a PWI. Nigga was so ready to debunk this choice, saying whatever the fuck low-key thought, and I thought we were done with this shitty ass rant until I heard the words, and it's a PWI. From that point on, we got to my house's driveway and we sat there for about an hour after. And you know how black parents get. You can't move from a certain spot till they're done talking, can't fidget, don't move a muscle. Matter of fact, don't even breathe or else you'll be in that car for a lot longer than you want to. Don't take me back to those times, bro. I personally hated the college process, but that's a separate video for another day. We're gonna give this stereotype a 10 out of 10 because I have personal bias to it and because I would figure many of y'all can relate. We got a few more things to tackle here, so stay with me. Next on the agenda, we have black people not changing the batteries in the smoke alarm. I personally didn't know this was a black people thing, and my black card will not be revoked because of that. You see, this is a stupid ass thing because one, this is like a thing that's made to genuinely help you be aware, and two, it only backs with the statement that black people are cheap. Only second to Jews though. It might not even be a problem that they don't want to buy batteries, although I know tons of niggas that's simply the reason for it. But it also might be because we are some lazy ass niggas, which I beg differ, but I can only speak for myself. Can't speak for the rest of y'all niggas. Not to mention I hear there's also a double side to this one when niggas saying the smoke alarm always be going off in the black households. This one's gonna get a 4 out of 10 for me. I'm not even sure what to call this next one, so I guess we're gonna go with simply sounding black. Genuine question. How are you supposed to sound black? Nah, like I'm actually trying to answer my own question because there is no possible way to sound black, nigga. If we're basing it on what most niggas would think a black person sounds like, I'd assume it's having a deep voice. In which case, every nigga with a deep voice, I guess, supposedly sounds black. And then there's a whole requisite to if you don't sound black, saying the N-word doesn't sound right. Wait, hold on one second. What was that? I see, my fault. I just found out I don't sound black, so I can't say nigga no more. I have some personal animosity for this shit for a lot of Let me rephrase. I have some personal animosity for a lot of people that said I didn't sound black. What's even worse about this is that you got human beings that were white saying this too. I'd love to hear what a couple of Connors and Johns have to say about sounding black, and the credentials to sounding black too, wouldn't y'all? Negative 6 out of 10. Second to last thing we're gonna critique. Black music. What qualifies as black music?
Bow, 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 bow. That's that booty meat. They not like us. No. They not like us. No. They not like us.
Are you crip walking? No. You could put practically everything rap related in here because our renaissance kind of put that genre on the map if we're being real. But that's a take for a future video, so we're not gonna get into that. Black music is everything essentially getting you invited to the cookout. If you play some music that makes auntie in the back stand up at the cookout, 9 times out of 10 you playing something with the credentials of being black. Either that or some fire ass Punjab music or Latin, because everyone likes their daily dose of Fun fact for today, that's a wedding theme for y'all who don't know. On a serious note though, the Super Bowl performance by Kendrick taught us a lot about what black music truly is. If you need to look somewhere for an example of black music, look no further than that show. Everyone who was black was on their feet celebrating that spectacle of a show, especially after the messages that were given throughout the performance. This will be the only part of the video where I dropped some actual wisdom, unless I did already and I'm forgetting. In any case, listen up. Black music isn't characterized by the genre or even the artist creating it. It's characterized by the message delivered by the music performed. In the case of the halftime show, I think we can all agree in saying that it was. I'm gonna give this one a 5.5 out of 10 because I think we're slowly starting to come to this realization. I hope. Last thing we're going to mention here, the black stereotype of saying they're invited to the cookout. Being invited to the cookout means you are given a subscription of being black, or I guess a part of the family on some mafia type shit. The only way you're out is if you do some fuckery. In that case, we gotta terminate you on some mafia type shit. To get in, I feel like you gotta meet a couple standards for yourself. One, you gotta bring vibes that black people can get down with. Otherwise, I'm sorry, it just ain't gonna work out. Two, you gotta be able to dance. If you can dance, and I mean like get on the dance floor and vibe with the rest of the aunties, because if you can't do that, then you just one of those African Americans standing in the corner at the function, which as we know is frowned upon. And 3, you gotta eat and love eating the food. If you can't do this, then we can't give you your card, so I can't stress this enough. This one gets an 8 out of 10 from me, and on that note, I'm gonna play my reason to finishing the video with this stereotype. January 2nd, 2007.